and you have to love the subject, and you have to love the people that are in there, but you also have to go to the deepest, darkest places. And honestly, in writing this book, I went pretty deep and pretty dark, and because Smidar is killed in a suicide bombing, and Abir is killed with a rubber bullet in the back of her head, and these two men go around the world talking about this, and turning their grief into another weapon. And but I want people to know, like, it's incredibly important for me that people know that this is actually a hopeful book, or that the stories of Bassam and Rami are incredibly hopeful, and that you do not come out of this book, you do come out of it feeling a bit bruised and battered, yes, or disrupted anyway. But wow, those two guys, they believe in some form of hope that's almost incandescent,
They're funny. They're funny people too, and you use their humour.
See, that's the thing. You got it. See, like that. There's a moment in the book where I do the sketch from TV, and the tagline is, "Haven't the Jews suffered enough?" And like, some people might find that offensive, but Rami and Bassam, and Rami in particular, who's Jewish, doesn't find it offensive at all. And here's what happened. I was in the 92nd Street Y in New York. These two guys, my characters from my novel, fly over from, they came from Tel Aviv to Istanbul, and Istanbul to New York. They're there with me. We're in the 92nd Street Y, which is the cultural center, primarily a Jewish cultural center, and they get a standing ovation. And Bassam, the Palestinian man, like, nudges me. He's like, "I'm Palestinian, I'm getting a standing ovation here." And we go down the road, and we go into a restaurant, and we're sort of like enjoying the evening, and but it's been cold outside, and they're both wearing their raincoats, and they slide into these seats, and Rami is a little bit bigger than Bassam is, and he's trying to get his jacket off, like this. It's like, pull it, it's like, and Bassam leans across, and this is beautiful, because this is tiny, but beautiful, and he takes Rami's arm from the jacket, and then just whispers in his ears, only that I could hear because I was across the table from him. He said, "Haven't the Jews suffered enough?"
It's brilliant. That's just
and what happened is that Rami put his head on Bassam's shoulder and laughed and laughed and laughed, and so they have this friendship. They have this sense of humor. They also have this sense of purpose, and that's what they're about, because they're about disrupting the comfortable narrative. To say that an Israeli is this, a Palestinian is this, and only this. They want to scuff it up, mess it up, whatever it happens to be, in order to make us think twice about what's going on, and what we lend our money to, and what we lend our support to, and what we think of what's going on in the world. They are, I mean, I haven't really said this in any public forum, but I hope to God someday that their organization, the Parent Circle, and in particular Rami and Bassam, become recipients of the Nobel Prize. I mean, because I think that they're up there with, Gandhi, and they're up there with MLK, and they're up there with, people who did the peace work in Northern Ireland, and the John Humes of the world. I mean, yeah, they're really extraordinary.